Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today's topic is, will Power Rangers ever become popular again? I think this is going to be an interesting topic. It's kind of interesting to kind of think, especially since the way that the brand has been for quite some time. 30 years is a big milestone, but you know what else is a big milestone? Liking, favorite, and commenting on this video, as well as subscribing to the channel, because it helps the channel grow, and why not check out some merch? But the main question is, will Power Rangers ever become popular again? Kind of a rundown of the popularity of Power Rangers from what I've experienced, from what I've seen, is it was massive in the 90s. Nothing like Power Rangers had ever been done before, and it pretty much destroyed everything out. It had new things that we've never seen before. It's the one thing that I think has literally taken a big step on my life and gone whoa, and kind of impacted on many levels, hence still talking about it today. But literally nothing like this had ever been seen before. You know, obviously we've had cartoons, but seeing this was absolutely massive. You had toy shops selling out of toys faster than you can say anything. You know, people fighting over stuff. No matter what you could do, literally it was gone. You have an item, boom, gone. And I feel like there probably were some fights, you know, you can take my Megazord. I ain't taking your Megazord. And then suddenly someone steals the Megazord and runs out the shop. But either way, it was sold out everywhere. Everyone was talking about Power Rangers, either good or bad.
Critics point to the violence, and they say this is a bad message for children, no matter how the producers try to package it.
If you're in the right, it's okay to use weapons. It's okay to use force. It's okay to hurt, to maim, to kill. And that's a pretty sad message to be giving children.
At the end of every show, there's a public service announcement that says to kids, all right, this is real, and this is not.
You had people talking about how great the show was, how it was very different, but also you had major big things coming off, like saying like, oh, it was too violent, we can't have this. And again, it was censored in some places or wasn't even shown around, which tells you that the show was being talked about by anything. I think one of the biggest things to me though was having Universal Studios in Florida just completely sell out. Like, I've never seen something like that, to the point where they shut down highways. There was news reports on it.
Unbelievable crowd.
And to turn a freeway into a parking lot.
A Power Rangers gridlock on the northbound Hollywood Freeway.
Their mere presence backed up freeway traffic for 10 miles.
And for what I think is probably the last thing that you'll see to have that much impact, regardless of what it is. You know, I don't think even Marvel at its powerhouse right now could do anything, neither could DC. So seeing something like this was a worldwide phenomenon. Like, literally nothing like this has done it, and I don't think since then nothing will ever be as big like that. I hope it does change. I hope that at some point we get something even bigger somewhere and it does happen. But for now, I don't think we'll see anything like Power Rangers popularity happen whatsoever. The main question of this is, will Power Rangers ever be that popular? The short answer is no, but popular, yes, it can be. Now, myself, many other YouTubers have talked about how the brand needs to change, how it needs to evolve from what it was back in the 90s, and you could see it slowly happening, you know, as it kind of progressed. But since Samurai, it's just gone back to exactly the same thing. And I feel that Hasbro, regardless of how much crap we give them at times, I do feel like they could do this, but it doesn't need to take a lot of work. And I do think, and as much as people hate this, I do think moving away from certain elements of the show would really do it. And I feel like Power Rangers has been this kind of, it's stuck in the mud for such a long time. You know, if people turn around and say, oh no, that's a lie, like it's fine the way it is, have a look at what's been going on for the past couple of years. Toy sales aren't that big, you know, it was non-Nickelodeon, and I feel like that's the big thing. And I do think, now personally, my opinion is, I do think Saban really just didn't care and was more like, shit, we're just going to do what I want, and, you know, I'm still making money regardless, you know, even if it's a small fraction. And I believe that there's so much potential within this brand and within this franchise that it could go even further than what it can do. But it seems to have this stigma of what the brand is. Now, if you went out to people in the street and said, hey, do you remember Power Rangers? Majority of them are going to kind of go, oh, aren't they those things back in the 90s? And that's all you're going to get. Now, hardcore fans have kept this brand alive. Myself, as well as others, have kept this brand alive, and we're talking about more stuff than just your typical review or what people love Tommy for. Now, Hasbro need to really kind of look into this. If they decided to take a year off, if they decided to take 2 years off to kind of rebrand, really go for it, either make their certain stuff, I feel like that is what we're going to need. Now, there was a tweet, I probably didn't write in this because this was written way before. There was a tweet by my friends that said that if this doesn't work out, the show is probably going to go on a hiatus for infinite amount of years, indefinite hiatus, which I think will cause the brand to die. And I feel like without anything brand new or anything like that, we're not going to see anything Power Rangers. Lightning Collection will probably carry on for a bit, but I don't think it will last for very long considering what's going on with them at the moment. So I feel like this would then turn into a place that would die, and thus therefore that's it. And as hard as it is to hear about this, you have to think of it from a business point of view. If you've spent X amount of money and you're not making money and you're in fact losing money, you're going to try a few things to change it up. And I think Saban knew that he was still going to get money from Bandai because of toys, and he was going to get whatever from Hasbro for a short amount of time. Yeah, that is. And it's not me just bagging on the brand, even though it sounds like it, but you have to look at it from a business point of view. Now, that being said, if it were me running it, or me having influence, I would start looking at certain things to make it popular again. I would look at other shows like Marvel, DC, look at how they've made their standing shows, look at their ratings, request it, look at Netflix, look at all these places, and then take the data away and kind of bring it in. And I feel like that would be one of the main stuff that you could think about. Now, with Sentai, because it's the only thing we can really compare it to, if you look at the way that Sentai's run, as much as I hate to say it, now roughly thinking about it, I do think to some degree Sentai has got it hands down and is slightly better than Power Rangers on certain aspects. I still love the brand, don't go crazy, but I look at how they've done over the past years. Zenkaiger, Kiramager, Gokaiger, Go Buster, Tokuja, all those, Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. And the way that I kind of see this over time is that they have evolved with certain stuff. They're trying new things, where Power Rangers gets the hand-me-down footage and then they go make their own thing. Now, to be fair, Hasbro have done their own thing and they are making it better. We've seen it with Dino Fury. So I feel like it can be done. But I feel like Super Sentai is still one of the most popular, or is a popular, or at least a decent TV show in Japan. So kind of copying the formula a little bit and tweaking it and seeing what it is and focusing more on, say, more in-depth storylines. Hell, in Zenkaiger quite recently, you had the thing of Kaito's parents being taken away, and then obviously he finds them. You had the whole thing of Stacy forming a relationship with Sek-chan or Yak-chan or Yek-chan, the grandmother basically, and having an emotional thing like that way. But when you look at how Power Rangers is, I don't see it moving forward. And I feel like that's what's kind of like stopping the creativity of the show and making it popular again. I do think that Hasbro really needs to kind of look at how they want to have a dedicated team. Stuff that we've seen from the toy division department, where you had, I think it was Emily, and then suddenly she's disappeared and it's someone else. And then she suddenly pops back later on, or she's saying the same thing. I totally love this brand, but I kind of don't feel like it. Well, Emily's a great person, but I feel like when I hear that sort of stuff, like, I'm really super excited to work on this project, and then you say it about something else, I'm more like, are you really? So I think Hasbro needs to look at how they're going to do it. They need to really check everything properly. Otherwise, I think this is just going to be a brand that would probably end up under the rug and no one would care about it whatsoever, which I think is a really big shame. I think that you need a proper dedicated team, like 100% dedicated team. and don't put them on other projects and see what they can do. Hell, I would love to work at Hasbro for that, to actually get a glimpse to see how this all works and give my input. I would love that. I think that would be a very good opportunity. I do think starting small to kind of bring this forward is the best option right now. Start with something small, work your way up, and then work your way to the big boys. Look at how Saban and Power Rangers was back then, and maybe say, okay, well, how did they kind of work on that? How did we get people running out and buying stuff? Now, when I look back at Target or anything like that, you know, even we don't even have shops. Well, we do, yeah, we do sell some Power Ranger stuff over here, but I don't really kind of feel like we do. Like, it feels like it's just an afterthought, and that could be the market, the fact that you've got Marvel and DC kind of in there. But how are they killing it more than anything right now? You know, Spider-Man's the biggest thing right, you know, for Marvel. But how did it get that big? What is it that makes these brands amazing that people want to buy and get behind? And why not kind of apply that same formula to Power Rangers? It's one thing that I kind of really want to know, how you would do it to make this brand better, or even like better than it was before. I think majority is that maybe you're looking at how toy sales. Now, I don't know if you can get data from what age range you're buying this toy from or whatnot, but I feel like if you pick a side with Power Rangers, is it for the kids? Is it the fact that they're going to buy the toys? Or is it the adults, or it's the fans that are buying the toys? And look how it is. You have tons of stuff at your disposal. You have Facebook groups, you have message boards, you have YouTube, you have what people are saying and how people are enjoying it. So why not then turn around and pick a side? Do you then go down the road of, hey, this is, you know, we're just going to make it for the child audience? Or are we going to actually make it for the teens, adults who have grown up for the show? And then go around that area and go, okay, we're going to make it for the adults, so the fans from the show that have watched it from Mighty Morphin, and make something for them. And I think that you would probably see sales and stuff go up a lot higher than the whole, gotta teach everyone a lesson at the end of the day. Don't pick up the berries, Red Ranger. They make your cheeks go puffy, and you don't want that. And then he goes and does it anyway. You know, it's that sort of storytelling. Now, don't get me wrong, Dino Fury is doing a particular banging job at doing this. Like, it's a very good story for what they're doing. So you need to take that, amp it up just a little bit higher, and then there you go. I think you've got a perfect show for what it is. So I think there's tons of stuff going on with that one. I know that all of this will not happen overnight. I know that there isn't going to be like tomorrow wake up and everyone's talking about Power Rangers again, etc., etc. So I believe that this will take time. I think this will probably take a couple of years. And if it doesn't, then you have to turn around and go, okay, well, you know, we've cut our loss. I know that they won't sell it back to Saban. They will not sell the show back, because even if he did buy the rights back, who's going to do it? Who's going to fund it? Hasbro will literally sell everything, or they'll keep on top of the rights. But I just don't think Saban would buy this back, and there's nowhere else really to go. You could go back to Bandai and we'll just get subpar stuff. You know, Bandai America did not do a good job, and literally I'll stand by that, because they didn't make all the best stuff. Made okay legacy line, but if it wasn't my morphing, they just didn't give a shit. Do I think that the show is going to be popular? Yeah, I do think it will be popular again, but I do kind of think that it's going to take more time and effort. It's going to take a lot more than just flashy toys or the latest Sentai being adapted into Power Rangers. I do believe that there's a lot of work to go in, and I'm happy to see it. I want to see how they do this. If it's bad, then the show's going to die. But that's a story for another day. I just think they have to take it seriously. I feel like a lot of times when we get this brand stuff, I feel like whoever it is just doesn't give a shit or doesn't take it seriously, where Power Rangers could be up there with, you know, Marvel and DC to some degree, but I feel like it could do more. But I feel like whoever gets it just treats it like a joke, like, oh, it's just from the 90s, and that's it. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me on this? Do you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And what do you think about the way that Power Rangers is going? And what would you do to change it? Let me know down below in those comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out the merch. And I will see you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。